What is happening, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to KMRD Radio Stuff. My name is Mike. If you're new to the channel or you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It'll make you feel a whole lot better. Guys, today I want to share with you something that I've been using all week here. Something Banggood was kind enough to send me to show you guys and play with. So thank you, Banggood, for sending this out to us. It's Texas. It's 102 degrees supposed to be today. We're out here camping for field day. And coolers full of ice just ain't gonna cut it. They're gonna melt. So my friends at Banggood said, well, what do you feel like reviewing? And I said, hey, let's look at some of these coolers you got. This is a 12-volt portable freezer slash refrigerator. It's freaking awesome. So let's check this out today on KMRD Radio Stuff. Guys, this is the HCalory 50-liter cooler from Banggood, capable of running off of 12 volts or 24 volts. It's got some kind of smart controller inside here. I'm running it, you can see I'm just running it off a battery. I made a little battery box for this. I've got about a 30 amp hour battery in there, just running 12 volts off of solar this whole weekend, and it's been doing fantastic. As far as current draw, when it's just idling, it's pretty much nothing. When it's cooling down, I'm seeing anywhere between about 4.5 to maybe peaking about 6 amps on this thing. But my 30 amp hour battery with the solar panel has had no problem keeping this thing on day and night for the last, I've been here since Thursday, it's Saturday now. No problems whatsoever, so it's doing really good there. It's peaking over 100 degrees this weekend, and it's had no problems whatsoever keeping this thing cool, which is really nice. It's very, very well insulated, very well built, very rugged. It's got 2 different zones. There's a freezer and a refrigerator with a little thing that slides inside that'll somehow tells the cooler that you want to divide it and use one side as a freezer and one side as a refrigerator. You've got smart controls up here. You can control the temperature and everything. I did a cooling test just to see how fast it would get down to freezing, and it went from, it was in Celsius at the time, so 25 degrees Celsius all the way down to 0 in like 20 minutes. So cool down time is actually very, very quick. The great thing about this thing's capacity is phenomenal. I'm amazed at how much stuff I was able to cram in here for this trip. I put 24 12-ounce beers in here, 16 24-ounce Gatorades, and 19 16.9-ounce bottles of water. Crazy. And I was I was wondering if these handles would hold it. It was freaking heavy, and they did a great job. This thing is very well built. I'm very, very happy with it. Let me show you these controls, because you can do a lot of stuff with this and set the temperature and all that stuff. So let's take a look at that, and I'll show you how to use this thing. So here's a look at the control panel. The first thing that'll happen once you plug it in, everything will turn on, and it takes about a minute for the actual compressor to turn on, so you might think it's not working. It's fine, it's totally normal. But let's take a look at some of the functions. So obviously you can see here's the readout for the temperature. Now, if that divider were in that makes this a freezer slash refrigerator, down here there would be another temperature. So you actually have 2 different temperatures you can monitor. You can only set this one, but this being colder will make this side not quite as cold with the divider. I don't know how it works, but it does. It's really neat. So here we have our on-off button. Notice I touched it, this little lock comes on. So by default, after a couple minutes, if you don't touch any of these buttons, it automatically locks, because these are just touch. So you have to hold down both of these for a second. Now it unlocks. We can turn it off just by long pressing. Now it's off. Let's turn it back on, long press it. Now it's on. We can very easily adjust the temperature up or down. Okay, I'm keeping it right around 32 degrees this weekend, and then it'll just go to the setting after a couple seconds. It'll keep that. Right now it's at 35 degrees. It'll cool down in a second. We've got some settings here. If we touch the settings button, you can see here's the max. That means it's on like super ultra, like it's gonna do the maximum cooling. If we touch that again, it goes into eco, so if it's not 100 degrees out and you don't need it to turn on as much, you can put it into eco mode. It saves your battery a little bit. I'm keeping it on max. If we long press this, we can change it from Fahrenheit to Celsius. And then if we cycle here, we have H and M and L. I'm not sure what those are for. What are those for? Maybe that's the fan speed, I'm not sure. I'll have to put a graphic here and tell you what that means. So I mean, it's pretty basic. You just set the temperature. You can do Fahrenheit and Celsius, and I would guess maybe high, medium, low. But for what, I have no idea. Either way, it works. So let's take a look inside now. So the first thing you'll notice when you open this up, there's a nice latch on the lid that actually keeps this locked closed, and it kind of just snaps shut. So I really like that feature. You don't have to worry about it accidentally opening. It gives a nice solid close, so you know it's sealed, so it's not letting any cold air out. But the capacity of this thing is ginormous. I mean, here's my arm. It's just, you can put so much stuff in here. This thing was absolutely full to the brim this weekend when I came out. I was curious about how well insulated this was. These walls are only maybe 1.5 inches thick or so. But like I said, this has been able to keep up with the Texas heat and summer all weekend long, no problems whatsoever. I actually unplugged this for a few hours. I needed to charge the battery a little bit faster, and this held temperature for, it was probably 2 or 3 hours that this thing was just straight up unplugged. Everything inside stayed cold. It was great. I was very, very pleased with it. Another great thing about this that I would have never even thought of, they had the wherewithal to put an LED light in here. So that has been really helpful at night when you open this up and you want to pick a Gatorade or a beer or water, whatever. You can actually see it does a great job of illuminating this entire cooler. It's fantastic. I love it. Very, very deep. I mean, it's as deep as my arm is pretty much. The thing's awesome. And so here's, you can see this little ridge coming out here. This is where that divider is going to slide in that comes with it. Now I took it out because I'm just using this as a refrigerator this whole weekend. But if you slide this divider in here, there's got to be a magnet or something. It senses that divider is in, and then you'll get 2 different temperatures on the display. This side will be a freezer, this side will be a refrigerator. How it works, I have no idea, but it does. So let's say you keep this side at freezing, you know, 32 degrees. This would probably be in the 50s. So probably want to keep this a little bit colder for refrigeration, so you can keep this around like 40 degrees. Maybe put this at like, I don't know, 20 degrees Fahrenheit or so. But it does a really good job. I'm very, very impressed with this, especially for the price. $240 I think they're going for on Banggood, versus some other coolers that I've seen that are comparable to this are like 500 bucks. It's kind of a no-brainer. You've got nice metal hardware here for the hinges. Underneath all this, there is a drain. If you get water in there, it'll drain out. Just very, very, very happy with this thing from Banggood nonetheless. So this is freaking awesome. So that's it, gang. Just wanted to show you a quick look at this 50-liter 12-volt cooler by HCalory from Banggood. This thing is a banging good deal and definitely gets the K&MRD seal of approval. I am in love with this thing. The guys here at the camp are astonished at how well this thing is working. So thanks, Banggood. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again on another episode of K&MRD Radio Stuff. 73, guys.